Oh, hi everybody. Uh, we're wrong way.
What?
I don't know. Now you're being cut off on the top.
Is this different?
You can change that. You can change the angle of that.
Well, just a second. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that works.
Uh, anyway, LangTime Studio. Oh.
My brain interpreted that as like a string of words that were said in the wrong order, but as I keep going back over them, I think you actually said that all in the right order. And my brain is just misstringing things. Ah, Jake says I look taller than you, even in the digital realm.
Yeah, Natalie agrees with all of them.
That I'm taller than you?
No, that it should be going from 0 to the highest number, not the highest number to 0.
Oh, on the HP. I'm sorry.
It's going to be so much copying and pasting. Actually, I only have to do it like a few times. Well, I only have to do the switcheroos a few times.
And then the copy and paste.
Then the copy and pasting. I didn't think it mattered much either, but if my own sister, my own flesh and blood, disagrees, then what am I to do? Hello,
Indeed.
Charles Barrow. I haven't got things all properly set up yet, so...
The lighting is better with my screen closer to me, so...
Oh, lighting.
I'll just sit back.
I forgot about the lighting. Let's get our new fancy light going. Okay.
Ooh.
So I think that we've talked about my opinions on the Foo Fighters before, that, you know, when their first album came out, it was really something. And it had some tremendous and very interesting songs on them, on that album. And I was very, encouraged by it. But then as they went on, I just feel like their sound has become more and more generic. To where it's like, you just say, since we don't have one, hey Alexa, play rock and roll. And they just throw on a Foo Fighters song.
And then the next song will be Fleetwood Mac, because everything leads to Fleetwood Mac.
Mm-hmm. Anyway. That's a bummer, Jonathan. I think we've all been there.
Did you do the volume thing?
Oh,
and is the mic set to the right thing? Because we
the mic is set to the right thing, but let me check the input volume. Thanks for the reminder. Input volume is not up high enough. There we go.
Okay, so Ragdoll, be careful. You may now be blown out of your chair.
Ragdoll, living in a movie. I really like your little elephant there, Bubba. He's got a little elephant picture.
Oh, he sure does.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, and let me see if Safari, everybody can see that. Oh, I went over too far. Yeah, there we go. Everybody can see that. All right, and now I'm going to do my other new thing. I was going to pull up the chat on my phone.
Love it. It's a great idea.
Okay. YouTube, the app. It doesn't look like a television anymore. The YouTube app.
Oh.
And so, like, I guess it makes less sense that the LangTime Studio logo is a TV too, huh? Well, don't do that.
finding the next page for mine.
Okay, if I do that and then go like this, will it do that? So when you're putting it in landscape view, you can't make the whole screen just chat. I don't think it understands how I want to use this.
Well, as you're figuring that out, and no, you can't because they want you to also see the video. Bubba, that is so cool. Bubba's sister made every family member their favorite animal, and so as a crochet stuffed animal.
Well, there goes my hero.
So that's
Get it?
no.
Foo Fighters.
Oh. But in context, who was your hero?
I mean, she's a hero for making little animals for the whole family. That's
You
very
mean like
cute.
there goes like, not like, ugh, there goes my idea for the weekend plans where
No,
you
no.
have to throw it away.
No.
I was like, what hero did you just trash?
It's like, oh man, we were gonna make stuffed animals for the whole family this weekend, but then Bubba's sister did it. And now
It's
we
all
can't
done.
possibly do it
It's
again.
all done. No, I've already done your favorite animals in plural, and so
Oh, Jake, thinking they're European. That's quaint. Anyway, let us take care of the poll quickly so that then we can move on to greater things. Oh, okay. All right. So, the poll this week, we were talking about demonstratives. And demonstratives could work in a few different ways that we were anticipating. So, to start off with, Haughòf had 4 demonstratives. They divided things into proximal and distal, and animate and inanimate. And so if we went with this route, the idea was we just use the exact same demonstratives as Haughòf. Modulo sound changes, and so quiche dish would be this fox, but gemel would be this cloud. Quiche femme, that fox, gem rat, that cloud. All right. Next idea was just to use the original 2. And this is because in the history of Haughòf had 2 original demonstratives that went back to essentially proximal and distal, as far as one can remember. Then the other 2, these would be the animate ones, came from something else later. And so the idea here is that I guess the foxes split off before those new demonstratives took hold, and so they just kept those. And so we would have quichemel and gemmel for this fox and this cloud, and quicherat and gembrat for that fox and that cloud. Option C was the same thing, but adding a 3rd dimension. So the regular rat would just be medial, and then there would be a combination of that and there to give us a new distal.
mm-hmm.
And so the same ones I just did, but also kishrata, yonder fox, and gemrata, yonder cloud. And then we had another option, novel 2 only, and this is where we use the words just for here and there on their own. So proto-el and proto-ta. By the way, I'd love to put the little asterisks in there, but the code for Patreon uses 2 asterisks the way that Discord does to italicize, and they don't have an escape character
Like Discord does.
like Discord does. So if I'm only going to put one protoform in a post, then that's fine. 2 or more,
Done.
Can't do it. All right. And so the way those would sound would be quiche-eve, gem-eve, quiche-ta, and gem-ta. All right. So everything really had some votes except for this one. At least I think. Was that the case? No, I guess D did have some votes. Okay, D got some love. I think it was A that came in last. But the point is that A and D weren't doing it. It came down to B and C, And it was really interesting. This is one where the low level poll actually won out because the further up you went in the patron levels, the more B won out.
Interesting.
But nevertheless, C squawk. Uh-oh.
Did you say squawk?
Squeaked out.
No, squawk out. That done squawk.
Oh man.
You squawked it, babe.
It's not even spellable. SQUUCK.
Squawk. It's done.
Oh man.
And everybody heard.
Oh crap. I mean, yeah, Patrick has spelled it, and like, it's either spelled the way Patrick spelled it or Miles spelled it, and they both look terrible. Oh no, Max. An epenthetic W.
I am just so squawking happy right now.
Anyway, C1. So we're gonna have the original two plus the new one.
David is horribly just done with the show, I think.
Yeah. By the way, I went ahead and got rid of the gem in it because I figured it's it's a demonstrative. It's probably not gonna keep it, but I think it would retain final stress. So rata like that. All right. Enough of this mother squawking nonsense.
We're gonna get rated. Hey, hey, hey.
Oh, the Spinosaurus. That one looks terrifying. Isn't that the one that's like twice as big as the T-Rex? And like twice as vicious?
I don't know.
Here, hold on. Oh, this is a reminder. So before last week went off the rails, there was the whole rhubarb pie thing.
Oh my god, right. Rhubarb.
Yeah.
That was still on my thing that I was going to try to make you, and then because I was sick, we didn't go to the store, and then we haven't done shopping.
Yeah.
So it still hasn't happened.
Yeah. Spinosaurus. There he is. Oh, and there's an old-timey picture. A restoration of various Spinosaurids. Look at these tiny little pictures next to the classification-y tree. That's nice. I think that's thoughtful.
That is very cool.
Yeah. National Geographic Museum. There's a National Geographic Museum as in the magazine?
They're also a channel.
The Society operates the National Geographic Museum located at 1145 17th Street Northwest in Washington, D.C.
Sounds right.
We've been there.
We have.
Wow. Interesting. All right. Enough with that. Gonna get Loh Akish back in the sound changes in case we need it. Let us make our demonstratives.
Are you thinking something?
Yeah. Should we just go to bed?
Yeah.
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 As Jonathan noted, lots of energy today. Lots of energy.
I am making my progress on rowing, by which I mean I haven't come close to my best at the 5,000 meters in some time. I'm waiting for the jump where I suddenly get better. It just hasn't happened. Instead, I just grow more and more tired.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be laughing at you.
I know.
I'm sorry.
But in more exciting news, we went to a brand new Korean barbecue place that opened in my backyard. And it was fantastic, and it's very exciting.
It's not in my backyard, just David's. My backyard.
Man, we could have one of those little grills out there.
We could.
Just hire somebody to bring us meat.
Anyway, David.
Yeah. All right. So the demonstratives. Oh man, I gotta. Can you check your text? There's a section for them. Okay. Here we go. Loh Akish distinguishes three demonstrative levels. How do we say this? The deictic distances. Help me.
I'm sorry. You told me to take care of the text. So I
No,
was doing
I'm
it.
telling chat to help me. Oh gosh, thank you, our Knight Petrichor. 3 degrees of deixis. Curious what Patrick thought deixis was pronounced like. Oh, pronouncing the first part as 2 syllables like deism. Wow. Deix6. Deictic. Wow. Whew. That's a pronunciation right there.
Okay.
Deix6. Deictic. Love it. Welcome to a friend of the show, Con Langery, who has a stream every Saturday at 6 a.m. Pacific, Tongues and Runes. Check it out there. Also, there's the Con Langery podcast, which it sounds like there are going to be more episodes in the upcoming weeks. Is that right, George? Just the regular Con Langery podcast. Incidentally, also, of course, big hello and thank you. An apology to Let's Have a Booba's Jake and Miles. They stream every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. And unfortunately, we were not there due to a doctor visit. And I think there's another one next Tuesday.
Yeah, you have another one next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so still, Con Langery episodes are still coming out monthly, but there's one coming out Monday.
Reminds me of a song. I'm not going to sing it.
Monday, which is of course named as such because it's the best day of the month. So it used to be month day, but now it's just Monday. Yes.
Quick question.
Yep.
Everyone ignore what I'm about to say to David. Do you think I should go out of the room and call your mom? Because if she doesn't check her texts and they leave early to go do everything, it will be done and we will still be streaming and have no idea plans have changed.
Regrettably, I believe that is the best course of action. Please, everybody, say goodbye to Jessie.
Go on. It's
We
going to be
will-
at least a 2-hour phone call.
We will miss her. Jonathan, if you happen to be on hand, like if you're in the area, you can pop into the chair at will. If not, we'll make do. Okay. So, Loh Akish distinguishes 3 degrees of deixis. Thank you so much, Arnai Petrichor, for that verbiage. Proximal, medial, and distal. By the way, this is it Monday? When is July 1st? I have the impression that July 1st is Monday. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Tuesday, July 1st, there is going to be a new LangTime chat, and I think patrons are going to be very, very excited about it because we are talking to our own Jonathan. Wide-ranging discussion, important discussion, and so I encourage you to give it a listen on Tuesday. Jonathan says Wednesday if you believe in June 31st. 3 proximal, medial, and distal.
Okay, it's all taken care of.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. The 3 deictic markers, or I don't know, the 3 demonstratives are shown below. They display no distinction. They agree neither in number nor animacy with their antecedents. 3 demonstratives are shown below.
Okay.
Quiche. Why have I forgotten it already?
What have you forgotten?
I forgot what the demonstratives are. There's rat
Isn't
and
it in the
rata.
poll that's still open on your computer?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to remember it.
Oh. Well, sorry, I can't help you with remembering things. Well, hello again to you, Ragdoll.
Oh, Mel, that's right. I love that word. I love that word. Of course, I forget the one I love the most. Kishmel? That's Fox. Yes.
Also, apparently, Karis is saying, wait, how did you just say antecedent? How did you say antecedent?
Antecedent?
You said antecedent?
Yeah.
I say antecedent.
Well, let's take a look. Maybe I'm wrong. Wiktionary.
Well, if the across the Atlantic speakers are agreeing with me, I think I'm in the right.
No, there's only one pronunciation listed, and that is antecedent.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
And so, Bubba, an antecedent is something that is being referred back to, and so it's like the predecessor to whatever's being used. It's used often for talking about pronouns. So, like, you know, Marie went shopping. She bought a bag. I don't know. Where the she, you say the antecedent is the noun Marie. So that's like the throwback.
Okay. So, we've got that set. But the next question is, how do we turn these things into pronouns if we wanted to? So in other words, this one, excuse me, that fox over there. Here, might as well give these these just for maximal clarity.
I like this system. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, let's talk about how we were going to use these as pronouns if we wanted to. Because I believe in Haughòf you can just use them on their own. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. Let's go to rat. It is not entered in the dictionary.
Talking about in Haughòf?
Yeah. But this is why, we often get questions like, how many words do you have in a language? And we have a count, right? But like, we know it's not accurate. And not just because sometimes we forget to update it, but it's like we know there are words that we just never added that aren't a part of the
I
count.
think it's always underestimating how many words we have. I don't think at any point our little counter overestimates what we have, even if we accidentally put something in there twice as a number and have I don't know, there's actually 10 L words and we put 12 as the number because we accidentally upped it twice. I still guarantee you the number is less than the number of words we actually have in the language.
Yeah. Dothraki, it's probably overestimated, and I will tell you why. I couldn't decide in expressions or compounds that involve two different words if they should be in one or the other. And especially when the words were quite distinct, gosh, I'm trying to think, a bull rush, for example. There aren't a whole bunch of types of rushes, right? And so it's not like mailbox, right, where there's lots of different types of boxes. So with bull rush, the question was that equivalent, should it go under bull or should it go under rush? And so I would put them under both and then count it twice.
Cheating.
That was cheating. Oh, anyway. All right. So we don't have anything listed for Haughòf. However, I think based on the way that Haughòf works, it's pretty clear that these things should be used, should be able to be used as pronouns, or at the very least, the original ones. Maybe we can have a small little digression and discuss this. Make a decision, enter at least one of these things in the dictionary in Haughòf so we have a pattern, and then move on to our foxes. Miles. Bull Rush would be an excellent name for a prog rock band led by a cow main vocalist.
Nice.
Not a cow drummer. Anyway, so I can see us going a couple of different ways. One would be using some sort of prefixal noun thingy to turn it into a pronoun. Two, only the original ones, this and that, get to be turned into pronouns. Or three, they all get to be turned into pronouns.
I feel I have a favorite of those.
Okay.
Did you want to put it to a vote, or do you just want to have me tell you my favorite?
I want to put it to a jote.
Okay. So I think this and that should be usable as both a supporter, modifier, whatever you want to call it, ad nominal, demonstrative, if you will.
Oh, no.
And a pronoun,
Okay.
whereas the other two should only be used ad nominally. And so if you want to talk about that and just keep going, you're just going to do distal
Okay.
rat.
I love that.
Whereas if you want to be more specific, you would use quem as an ad nominal modifier.
All right. Let's do it.
Yeah, actually, if only people with J names voted, we would still get a pretty high vote count.
Jonathan, Jake, Jesse, do we have others?
Well,
Gibleridian, of course.
Gibleridian and Jagpie, don't forget. And I don't think Jason is here, but Jason.
Oh, that's right.
I don't think Jason can usually make it, but of course, don't forget Jubba and Jatrick. All great conlingers in our circle.
Jubba Bubba actually sounds like a flavor of Bubble Yum Bubblegum.
I bet it is somewhere.
Okay, the inanimate demonstratives.
And Giles, Gmo, yeah, like so many Juz.
Oh man, put an apostrophe between the J and the K, and you got a Star Trek name, Jakaris.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one. Yes, and Mateus has a J in it. See?
Oh, you're right. Matijus.
Sorry, Karis. That was funny. The Mexican Hubba Bubba bubble gum.
Hua. Jakaris definitely has an interesting kind of wrinkly forehead.
It's amazing.
Oh my God. And then Miles, if there's Mexicon, that implies American. And good Lord, what would that be like?
Don't want to know. It's what we buck as we buck the conventions.
Maybe used on their own as pronouns. Though the same is not true of the animate demonstratives. Feeling that little hunger now.
Little or big?
Well, it's come on suddenly.
Don't think it counts. Do you want to just shut down the stream so we can eat some chips and ceviche?
Mm.
I lost the word for it for a second. Because I've been thinking about eating that, but I've only not eaten the rest of it as I was hungry because I thought it would be rude to eat it without you.
Oh no, you could have by all means. Okay, we just need a couple of example sentences. How do we say my in this language?
My?
Yeah, like possessives. Do we just use the do we just use the genitive?
1 second. Okay, we don't have it there.
We have a possess.
The word possessive is not used in this document.
Noun possession. Haughòf uses the genitive for possession. Oh, right, because it's a verb. Oh, okay. Yeah. Remember in the weed?
Well, yeah, I found it now. It's just possessive is not used in the entire document. So I had to look up possess, and
Yeah.
possess takes you to a few different places.
Let's go ahead and add a quick example and put a pronoun in there just so we know. I think it's going to be off. Yeah, I off.
My computer keeps beach balling things again today.
Am I off? My fur. oh, Miles, and then Jake with the follow up. Incredible. By the way, if you don't get Miles's joke, I'll explain it to you later.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Just say I was looking. I can speak sometimes. I was searching for something else really quickly.
We had an incredible I think it was a phonological exercise for IT Berber in grad school, and I will never forget. There's this word nishm, which was n, and then j, and then m, no vowels, and it meant to manage to. And it reminded me of the verb associated with graduation in Arabic, najahtu, right? Najahtu means I graduated, I believe. Okay, all right. demonstratives. Oh yeah, it was one of the. I think the reason that one stayed with me for so long was just because it was so pleasing to me. You know, it really hit me right. It seemed gorgeous to me. So. Oh gosh, right. We have copulas in this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
4.
4 copulas.
Or I guess it's, well, because there's a positive and a negative, and then we have an equative and a locative.
Dog is a massive dobram. Okay. All right. To. Mol. And then ultimately it's going to be I off. This is my, what should it be my of?
This is my stick, bone, toy.
Yeah, any of those will work. Let's, Dob is bone. And so I think it's going to be job, I believe. Green giant. A job. That's it. A job. A job, excuse me. Job. Tomol. A job by off. Okay. This is my bone.
I gotta say, in terms of like me wanting to read a language, Haughòf is not ranked among my top. But when you read this, like, I get cartoon dog vibes, and it's like so perfect. And so it's like the sound perfectly captures what I would have hoped for out of a dog language, and yet it is one I hope no one ever asks me to read.
Yeah.
I hope.
And
if they do, I will just say, what was the line? I choose not to read. I choose not to pronounce.
I am really happy with how the language has matched kind of the flavor of the animals. So I think for the closest match, I still think that Wokothishu and the mice is best. But like Ingala and Haughòf are right there. And then Tapahla, good lord. It's just ridiculous. I love it.
Sarkishe is left off the map. Because nothing's good enough for cats.
That's true.
Yeah.
They saw the language and then they just went.
Indeed. Or like that video of the bobcat I sent you, the
Oh, wow.
it just kept slapping.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's put one of these things into the dictionary. I vote for mole. So I think it's going to be the easiest. All right.
I love that we're only putting one in.
Well, I don't know. You want to do rot?
No. I just love that it's like, well, let's make dictionary entries to make this more thorough, and it's like, let's choose one.
All right, so first this is going to be, we just call it a demonstrative or determiner when it's used.
The way English treats it, I always call them determiners, but I think some languages it's better kept as its own category because they do different things. And in this case, what we are really talking about is it is part demonstrative and part pronoun.
Oh, it's going to be two separate entries.
2 entries. Gotcha.
Yeah. So first is this proximal and inanimate demonstrative. demonstrative? Or do we say inanimate proximal demonstrative? I think we do.
I feel like that fits better.
And now, pronoun. This one.
Ooh, bye, Bubba. And also, Danielle popped in to say hi. And if Danielle is still listening, hello to you. I meant to say hello when you popped in. But Danielle is driving, perhaps still right now, or
Okay.
perhaps has already arrived, to, if I remember correctly, a queer Spanish speaking meeting. I think some Spanish is going to be spoken, if I remember correctly. Now I'm going back because now I'm questioning my memories. So, one moment while I scroll to where Danielle said hi and to where I intended to say hi back.
All right. Good.
Goodness, no, it won't let me go further. Okay, it stops how far I can go. So
No,
never
Miles.
mind.
We are dancer.
Indeed. Why won't live chat let me scroll all the way back to the beginning? If I want to scroll, I should be able to scroll.
Matisse says an acquaintance of mine has a dog called Yikes, and that's the best dog name I've ever seen.
Nice.
Hat tip, Miles. Okay. Let's put Haughòf in our rear view mirror for now. And let's return to Loh Akish. Okay. Now that we've made that decision, it seems that there is precedent for simply treating these things like pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go take a quick look. It looks like everything is just prefixes in camp noun. In camp noun case. So yeah.
Something on my screen which is vexing because I had just cleaned.
Oh.
Okay, so camp noun case. What was that? What are you referring? I'm sorry.
CNC, Jesse. Camp noun case. All right. I think we just treat these little pups like pronouns.
I love it.
All right. Each of these demonstratives may be treated as full pronouns. When used as pronouns, they can inflect for case and number. Okay. Back to copulas for this language. Has no copula at all. Not even one. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, we went copula free in this one, right?
Well, how about that?
And remember, David, we don't regret that
Yeah.
at all.
I guess we don't. Okay. Okay.
Well, it's the same situation happens in a same kind of situation happens in Hungarian where like the demonstrative, but then there's no copula, and so it's like if the demonstrative is followed by a noun phrase, no verb, then it's just interpreted as like this is a pen versus this pen.
All right.
Yeah? Am I wrong?
No.
Okay.
No.
You just scared me for a minute. I don't know.
Can you tell me just the nominative plural for fox? I think it's Haughòf.
Just a second. We had that down here, I think. Haughòf,
Haughòf, okay.
with an umlauted A.
Yeah. Haughòf. These are my foxes. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Incidentally, the distal is also,
The distal?
yeah, it's also a form like this. It's when it's near the dirty dishes. So, like, you know, usually it works its way into language when you try to stay away from there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Hey,
Yeah?
as soon as you finish this, I think we should celebrate.
Oh, we're definitely celebrating.
Because we have survived almost half of a stream. Not even yet, but almost.
That's an entire section completely filled in.
Yay!
All right. Oh, good, Matisse. You'll come in handy. Oh. All right. Oh. Folks, it's time. Oh, the old Kopi Kochar with no label.
We know what's in it, David.
No, it's not supposed to be medial twice. I'm sorry, Jess, I got distracted. Ugh.
Are you apologizing to me?
Yeah.
Why? You don't need to apologize to me. You're doing great.
Okay. Okay, there. It's closed. Put that over there. Cheers, Kopi compatriot.
Cheers. Yay.
I loved the movie Son of Flubber. And The Absent-Minded Professor. Absent-Minded Professor was the first one. Son of Flubber was the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Kopiko, brought to you by the hit sequel of The Absent-Minded Professor, The Son of Flubber. Have you seen both movies, Jess? Oh, that's good.
Long time ago.
I used to watch them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We, because they were in the library, our local library that you'd been to.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we used to get movies from the library a lot. And those two in particular, whenever they were in, I would get them. I would watch them all the time. And it occurs to me, of course, Meridian will not have seen them.
Mm-mm.
They'll be on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm. Well, it should anyway. Sometimes things aren't on there that really ought to be,
Yeah.
if you're asking for my opinion.
Oh, and by the way, these movies, yeah, there was some sort of a remake that was done in the 2000s. These were movies that came out and they were in black and white.
Because in the remake had Robin Williams, right?
I don't remember.
The Flubber one? Because I'm fairly certain I've seen the remake as well. Yeah, Robin Williams.
1961. There was a professor of chemistry at Princeton University who had the nickname Dr. Boom.
Oh, yeah?
The film stars Fred McMurray. For some reason, I felt like it was starring Cary Grant. The guy who plays it is a very Cary Grant type character. Yeah, and then Son of Flubber came out in 1963.
Like, I'm pretty sure it was still the 80s the last time I watched both these movies. Like the original.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen the remake,
Me
so
too.
it's been probably since the 90s since I've seen those. But
Oh, definitely. Like,
or seen that one. There's only one remake.
I think that Meridian will like these because I loved them as a kid. And so far I've been right on about older movies that I think that she would like. She'd like Flight of the Navigator. You were right about Herbie the Love Bug. So yeah.
It was less about being right and more about being necessary viewing because we went and visited the real Herbie the Love Bug later that day.
Oh, that's true.
And
Yeah.
I said she had to see the movie first.
Okay. All right, where to next?
Oh, apparently you've mentioned Cary Grant in another episode. Max is doing I almost said rewatch, but more of a watch of missed episodes.
Cary Grant is funny.
Miles, we watched the original Herbie. Yes, Lindsay Lohan was in the remake. We watched the original one with Meridian.
A little bit of a LGBTQ plus history. Cary Grant was the first person to use the word gay, meaning homosexual in a movie ever. And it was in Bringing Up Baby.
We had... You know what we were going to do, David? We were going to use this stream to go back. Remember we had just written up the noun function section? We wrote an overview for number, but we don't have examples. I think we can get rid of the gender section. So I don't think we have that anywhere in this language, any noun classes. And
Noun possession, we should write that on.
we should write up that. So, and then we have an adjective section we need to write up because they, more than just saying where they occur, they actually do things. They agree in number with the noun. So, and they have, in the singular, they actually show up for slightly different forms for some of the cases. And so I think this is where we should go right now.
Yeah, I think so
is
too.
Catching up on what should have been documented.
By the way, I am reminded of the Teach Yourself series for languages. It's great. It's also quite old, and there are different authors. Especially going further back in time. The modern ones, it's like more homogenized. But the older ones, they were really written like by researchers and looked like treatises. And had really, really, really different forms. Like, what was the one I was thinking of where, for one of the languages, I think I still have it upstairs, where it's like 500 pages. And most of it is just like, here's every single verb form for this new verb you're listing. And so there's like, 2.5 pages of content per chapter and then like 20 pages of just dictionary with forms. That was terrible. But I was struck when I was a TA for David Perlmutter's sign language and deaf culture class. in the office that they had us in, there were some books in there, and one of them was a teach yourself. Gosh, was it Tongan or Samoan? No, it was Tahitian. Either way, it was one of the Polynesian languages.
Mm-hmm.
And so I open it up. Very first thing you see is, the definite article in the singular is ta, the plural is na. There is no distinction on the nouns for gender. That is, nouns can be either, masculine or feminine, depending on whatever. If you have to specify that something is masculine or feminine, you can do the following, where they essentially just put chicken down there and put chicken man, chicken woman. And it's like, this is the very first thing that they think it's important for you to know about this language. Where if you know anything about the Polynesian languages, like, there could be nothing less relevant than talking about grammatical gender. And there's so much more stuff.
It sounds like what they're saying is there is no grammatical gender, and if you need to semantically gender something, you add a modifier, which seems even less interesting from any point of view, because again, it's that Indo-European forced view of a language must have this, which is so bizarre because English doesn't even have it.
I know.
So it's like, why? Why? Like a mention just to say, hey, if you have this definite article, it's the same for all nouns. Perfect. Done. Like, you otherwise only need to mention it if there's a difference in how you treat nouns.
I know. It's a really mixed bag. So some of those books are old in a good way, in that they introduce you to elements of grammar. They show you all the tables. They go through examples. It's not like, hey, let's have a discussion about this dialogue that we're creating between two characters, meeting at an airport. And it's like, there's none of that. But then sometimes it's old in a bad way as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to make a joke, and then I got distracted by this. I was going to ask if they mentioned how to say chicken jockey, since we're listing all the relevant things in a language like the chicken man and chicken woman. We also need the chicken jockey. Yeah.
It occurs to me as we're writing up this noun number section, this would be a language where there might be a suppletive plural for certain things. If there are nouns from Haughòf that are kind of understood to be basically plural,
Okay.
they might pair up with some noun that can be understood to be a singular version of that.
You mean like have them conflate?
Yes, like the singular
Like
is...
two different words, and then they converge over history, where this singular form, kind of like person and people, where they came from. Gotcha. When you said pair up, I'm thinking like syntactically pair up, like in a sentence you would put one after the other. And I'm like, but if one is already understood as plural, why would you pair it with a singular to make it pluraler? Like, I was so confused. But I see what you're meaning, suppletion, in the sense that these forms converge.
Singular,
listen,
plural, and pluraler.
Yeah, and you make it pluraler by adding the singular to a plural. And, side by side, of course.
And then there's the hyperplural. Plural added to plural.
That's not as big as the uber plural, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the meta plural is just talking about the other plurals. That's it. Okay, so can you ever be pluralist? Is there ever an extreme?
Change the E to an I, and you have a hit new Oscar bait movie, The Pluralist.
Not to be confused with the antiplural.
Oh, the antiplural. Any number but many.
Okay.
Jinx.
What? What?
We both said okay at the same time, so I said
Nice.
Mm. Oh, I thought you said cheese.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry, I got slightly distracted.
By the light of the silvery moon. Fox.
The purple plural, yes.
You know what I have a vague memory of? Us writing something in the document in a different color saying we should start here next week.
You stay doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, it's where we can go for a focus, effectively leading up to a new poll.
Okay.
And that is, and I think right now actually what we're doing is incredibly important to lead up to this new poll. Sorry, I'm beach balling and I can't get back to the place I was. God, everything is broken now. It was the numbers with what should be the phrasal head and how should we count in terms of like 5 foxes, because if we did it based on the Haughòf ways, it would be Baba Kishmu versus something new where we make it like Hakishbab, Hakish Abab for the 5th foxes, or Kishbab would be the 5th fox. And so that would be something potential, but then we had also said that we needed to figure out the demonstratives because that was going to play a potential role. And so so that's where we're kind of headed, and I think actually writing up the number section here is going to help us think through this between this and the adjective section.
Yeah.
Helicopter.
Yeah. Love Jake saying that they're not as present today because they're working on some Conlang documentation, but like, Jake, you're not as present is just like so much more present than I think our level of present right now.
And like, I'm super wondering how well any of what David just said was heard. Because
true.
That got really loud for me.
Yeah, did you hear the helicopter?
You know, the helicopter's further away from the microphone, so maybe it didn't pick up and completely, like, I barely heard you from across the table. So I'm just super curious to know if Jake heard that. Effectively, what you were saying is that they are more present than we are on a normal day.
Yeah, they said they
than
sure
they
heard
are
it,
in the
right.
least present day.
Well, that's good at least that we were audible.
They are more present than we are on their least present day than we are on our average. I don't know. I just confused myself, but we're complimenting you, Jake.
Haughòf uses the genitive for possession. I'm going to put a pin in that because we actually have the opportunity to talk about alienability here.
Oh.
We didn't do it for Haughòf, but we could do it for this language.
Because for Haughòf, it's the genitive through and through, no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to write here and put a question mark. And we can decide if we want to work on that or this numeral thing.
Bubba's not here.
That's the perfect time to work on numerals.
It just seems like every time we get to talking about numbers, we realize Bubba either couldn't be here for that day or is already gone from the stream for dinner purposes, as in, I'm assuming that's what happened today.
Yeah. Oh, right. Shoot, we do need to come here and we need to go back to this because we never discussed, or did we decide that our words this and that, were they going to agree in case or not? Remember, you had made a decision.
Oh, it was going to be if there's going to be a full form and a simple form, kind of like a weak and a strong form.
Yeah.
If it follows an adjective that's already marked, it's in its basic weak form, where it is just completely unmarked. But if it is the only supporter with the noun, it carries the marking that an adjective would.
Okay. And then we need to write that.
Yes.
Got another helicopter coming. All right.
There's no guarantee it's going to go right over our house this time, though. No, it's coming closer.
Demonstratives agree with the nouns. They modify when the nouns in question are not modified by other adjectives.
So in other words, it's treated as an adjective.
Jake's been watching The Bear too. Man, so Mateus is sleepy, Patrick is sleepy, we're sleepy.
I think it's nap time. We are so excited. We saw that The Bear season 1 was available last night, but we saw it too late because well, I guess at that time your sister was over. So anyway, it's too late to be able to watch it by the time we realized that the first episode was available. And so tonight I'm so excited because in weeks past we've had Top Chef to watch on Thursday nights. Now we have The Bear to watch. And I'm very happy. My cooking show extravaganza continues. Yeah, season 4 just started. So episode 1 just dropped, I think, yesterday. And yeah, George, those helicopters, they fly low over our place, and so it gets very loud. And they're the
hella loud, so let's just keep on copting.
They're the giant military helicopters, so it's not even like tourist helicopters that are, I feel, much lighter weight.
Miles commenting that, where was it?
The relay journaling?
Chipper as a chipmunk.
Oh.
I feel like Miles is always ready for the club.
Yeah.
Hard to imagine Miles being sleepy.
And Miles is saying it's the relay adrenaline. That must mean working. Oh, gosh, that reminds me, Miles. I still have to get back to you with feedback. You sent me something. And then I got sick, and everything stopped.
All right, I need a transitive verb that it makes sense for the fox to be the object of. Do we have C yet?
Oh my gosh, come on.
Guide, we have guide.
So frustrated. Every time I try to even click on the document, it beach balls. So I am.
Dishara. I guided this fox. And now let's see what that should be. Just a little hawkish. O. It's an O. Omel. I guided this fox. Dishara hokishomel. I guided this fox. Now we need an adjective for this fox to be.
Oh, we have quiet. Yeah, we have young. You could guide a young fox.
All right. What's young in the accusative, singular?
Well, it's AW
So it's probably
there. So what is accusative? Oh, V initial. Here we go. Wow. WAW. Because it's singular, right?
yes.
Okay. So Haughòf wow.
All right. So di shela hokisho mel. I guided this fox. Di shela hokish wow mel. I guided this young fox.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
I like it.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we went down to the section down here because that was necessary. Now we can talk to the green texts.
We can talk to the green text. We're going to just like discuss a little something with them. Sit them down, let them know.
Yeah. A taste for Racha.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
Bob is 5.
Yeah.
So the question is, number 1, should the numeral be seen as the phrasal head? If so, chances are it would be like 5 of fox or something like that.
Yeah, and in this case, that would also agree.
Because it would be 5 of this fox, effectively.
Yeah, let me make sure I got the form right. Yes, I do. So it would be Bob Akisha Mel. Akish Bob. Akisha Bob with fox.
So then, when we were talking about new ways of doing it, the question was, if we treat the noun as the head, and you say 5 foxes, you would pluralize fox, so you Hakish.
Yeah.
And then the question was, but what is 5 treated as? If it should be treated as like an adjective or demonstrative type adnominal element, you would think it would be Hakish Abab, yeah? Or
Yeah.
Hakish, oh,
No.
what is
Abab.
the plural? Is it Abab?
Yeah, Akish Bob.
If you treated it like an adnominal element, according to the ones we've done so far. But then David has said, but if we don't do that, we could treat 5 as a separate category, as a numeral, and then if we treated it like an adjective, it becomes the 5th of whatever.
Yeah. And in order for this, I don't think that we need this anymore. So let's just. Logical order would be. It'd still be this. And I guess there's we should kind of fill this out though, because this should go along with this.
Um,
Unless we want to come up with some sort of a derivational strategy that gives us ordinals.
I do though have a question.
Yeah.
I'm staring at this one. These 5 foxes. Hakish babmi.
Mm-hmm.
Because 5 is being treated as a different element, wouldn't this be amu? Because it now no longer has a marked adjective form to take its inflection away.
It's an open question. In other words, if it cares about the category of the element that comes in between it and the noun, or it just cares if there's something in between it and the noun.
Because with it, and it can care what type of element is there. Because in a system like the weak and strong adjectives of Germanic languages, it cares whether the thing before it gives enough grammatical information that the adjective doesn't need to be marked more specifically. And that would be amu, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Up here, these would definitely only be adjectives. So they wouldn't take the agreement.
Is this something you want to flesh out and do today, or is this something you want to flesh out to a poll, for...
The laziest thing would be to do the poll, because then we wouldn't have to think of another one.
Okay.
We would also allow Bubba to give us his Bubinion.
This can be deleted, yeah, because isn't that what you wrote up above? I wrote that for the thing to remind us.
What can be deleted?
This whole paragraph? Like, I wrote that for the demonstratives, and then you took out the demonstrative examples. The following patterns will emerge in demonstratives, where a demonstrative following an unmodified noun occurs with marking, while a demonstrative following an adjective, which is already marked for agreement, is in its bare form.
Huh. That's very clear. It's what I wrote clear. Okay, yeah, we can delete it. Yours was nicer, but mine serves. Is that cutie fly?
Is that what?
No, it's Pichu. Can you tell my daughter?
Okay, and then we can delete this, because we did this, right?
Yeah.
Or wait, we haven't done the adjectives yet, have we?
No, we did.
I thought the adjective section was woefully bare.
Oh. No, You're right.
I can pop them in the adjectival agreement.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay. There we go. We've at least got that. All right. All right. All right, so I think what we should do, babe, is label option 1, follow the Haughòf.
Okay.
Like, are you typing in chat?
No. You keep going. You keep going.
Well, it's just nothing is happening to my document, and I'm
No, I
worried
know.
that it's like
No.
dead again.
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
fine. Nothing should have happened yet.
All right, so option 1, follow the ways of Haughòf numerals. Option 2, create a foxy novel option, such as this. Okay. All right, so technically we have option 2A and 2B with this, since these could take modified or bare forms, but it's such a technicality that it feels cheaty to split them.
Should show everybody what you're typing.
And by cheaty, I of course mean cheeky to split them. Okay. I think there should be an option 3.
What? Well, I can't wait for this.
Okay. The option 3. Technically is not a completely separate option. Okay, so to me, well, I don't know that this should be a separate option. Creating a separate ordinal form that is clearly an adjective and clearly distinct from these other ones, which could leave open then the possibility of using numbers like demonstratives and adjectives and just saying they're the same. And so, like Hakish Abab, the 5 foxes, but Hakish Wow Bob, the 5 young foxes.
Yeah.
And so treat numbers like demonstratives with bare modified forms that follow nouns and any adjectives. Then create a distinct adjectival ordinal modifier. So, nota bene, this is built on option 2, where numerals are not the head of the phrase. Okay, those are my 3 options. We can follow the ways of Haughòf. We can create a foxy novel option, or we could do something that is similar to 2 but would syntactically differ in the treatment of it, thereby kind of forcing the creation of an ordinal, where we get from a numeral, a cardinal to an ordinal form through some sense of derivation, which can be fun in terms of thinking through how that's done. Can also be fun because then we can have like some forms being suppletive, like how first and second in English are suppletive, and in a lot of languages, not just English, especially first is often suppletive. And so, what do you think, David?
I'm wondering if we need to come up with this form.
Do we, as of
And
yet?
if we came up with the form, if we would end up liking it so much that we would just cancel the poll.
See, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
You
So I think we
wait.
just have to leave it to the poll.
We wait.
Mhm.
Because as of right now, if I remember correctly, we don't yet have any derivations that turn. Yeah, we don't have derivations.
Yeah.
I can stop there. I was going to be like that turn, but no, every derivation chart is just the template chart. So that would be an open question, because if we did then create a derivation, we could, potentially use it a little bit broader to create nouns of quality or something. Or sorry, adjectives of quality from nouns, or something of that nature. Excellent.
All right. I'm going to write up a little thing on adjectival placement real quick.
Marvelous. I got like a little itchy spot right on my eye. Sidebar, I just realized that doing an early dinner means I don't have time after the stream to do things.
Well, we can always show up a little late. Really, Tethys. So, like, if you wanted to say, I don't know, the first child, you would say mtoto mkwanza. So not adjectives. They're, they're still essentially treated as a noun. The there is a linker. It's a genitive. Oh, and by the way, it's a mtoto wa kwanza.
Yeah. Yeah, wa kwanza is always used according to Google Translate. And so it doesn't take the class prefix. Wow, a whole bunch are in this class. I was trying to specifically find something in a different class. Anyway. Okay, David.
So that's a little bit like Japanese with no. Well, I mean, yeah, the ah thing, of course it agrees. It's gotta. It always does. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but the Kwanzaa itself stays Kwanzaa, not like a
Sure.
prefix attached to it. So sorry, that's what I was talking about. Not like the linker agrees, the Kwanzaa does not. Sorry, I was not very clear as I... Oh,
Right.
Not you're bad at all. That is my lack of clarity.
All right, so the adjectival section is now finished. And since we're going to be doing what we're going to be doing with the poll...
Let's go back to alienability. Alienability.
Alienability.
Bodity.
Alien bodity. Dun, 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 dun. Boo, boo.
And so obviously I'm doing great with the words.
Yeah. I've never seen a full episode of The X Factor. No, The X Files. and I'm not interested. Actually, I haven't seen a full episode of either.
I don't know that I've seen a full episode of The X Factor either. I know I've seen clips of The X Factor.
Bibleridian just chimed in for the first time. I wonder, I don't think...
Bib has chimed in at least 3 times already today.
What?
Yeah. There was discussions about someone's favorite animal being a dinosaur, and Bib talked about that a bit. And I think there was one other thing. So there's been at least 3 comments prior to this one from Bibleridian today. Yeah. And I think also commented on the Jacarian Tagaris, because Jacaris and that's all of that. I think I think that was 4. Am I right on my bib meter? Or did I miss one? My bibometer?
Did he comment on Gibleridian? Anyway, Jonathan says, I kind of feel like David would like the X-Files. So I don't have any interest in aliens, just the subject. It's above, cavemen, definitely, but it's still pretty low. And also definitely do not enjoy watching anything that is horror. So that was why I always just steer clear of the X-Files.
I would say you actually do like aliens in some contexts, because Star Trek, what are they if not aliens?
Well, yeah, but it's...
And there are Earthlings who are interacting with these aliens.
Yeah, but it's more...
it's educational and more investigative.
Rather than like...
And mystery-based than horror.
Rather than aliens are like some weird type of monster and everybody thinks that they don't exist, but we're going to say they exist. Then it lies more in the realm of the whole Bigfoot,
okay. I was just going to say, like, you can't, though, discount aliens at large from interests, from yours anyway. Because it's like, I think if it's done well in a certain context, I think you actually rather enjoy it. And you're telling me you didn't like Independence Day?
Oh, well, I mean, Independence
Men
Day.
in Black? Come on.
Men in Black. I didn't enjoy as much.
Independence Day was better than Men in Black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway. But
no, I think it has 2 syllables for me.
Horror.
Yeah, it's
horror.
It's just like, it's the syllabic R kind of situation. Like, so it's like the first syllable ends in an R, and then the second syllable is just the syllabic R for me, I think. Horror.
Yep.
Yeah. And so it does kind of all together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Patrick is saying it's not all aliens and not all horror, and you're literally killing Patrick.
Well, that's interesting. Shall I keep going then? Oh, and I have a higher alien tolerance than Jake. Oh. Love to hear about that on a Let's Have a Booba.
/ LangTime Cross. Oh. I've seen like 2 episodes of Doctor Who, and like I feel good. I feel no desire to watch more. And it's very interesting to me because of the number of diehard fans, and like diehard fans who are in my life who like similar things to me. And so I'm very confused as to why the show appeals to them more than it does to me. But that's just how it works sometimes. Sometimes there's just a show where you say, huh. Or you just need to watch it at the right time. I don't know.
There are 2 episodes of Doctor Who that I would really like to see. One of them is the Vincent Van Gogh episode because, Defiance actor and friend Tony Curran played Vincent Van Gogh, and I would like to see it. I've heard good things about it. And then also in the episode about Pompeii, because that was written by a different friend. And so I would like to see it because he wrote it. Okay.
I don't know that I've seen the Van Gogh episode. Or the Pompeii one. I haven't seen any of them.
I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them. I haven
Well, you just said that.
I would like to see those 2 episodes.
Oh, I thought you were like saying you did, and so I was very confused. Okay.
A mirrorer. Like, so somebody that mirrors something is a mirrorer, right? You know, if you're mirroring, right? Actually, that actually is a thing in website parlance, right? Because you can mirror another site, and so if you're mirroring another site, then you're a mirrorer.
Okay. So, David, returning to this, I'm going to say it slowly and actually say it. Alienability.
Alienability. I even put Haughòf. We're thinking. Loh Akish uses the genitive for possession, and it could be for alienable or inalienable possession.
Well, if one is marked and one is unmarked, you're more likely to mark the alienable than the inalienable.
Oh, really, anime fan? Which one? Okay. We need a little possession that the fox can have. And then we have mother for something that potentially could be inalienable. Huh. Okay, so woe is mother. Now let's have something that's unambiguously... Oh, ood is friend. That also works. Let's do mother.
Goodness.
Woe.
I was searching for like ear or tail or any body part. Just failed. Nose, snout,
Rhubarb.
failed on all fronts.
Yeah, we definitely need to add some vocabulary.
The fox could have a dog.
Rock.
A pet dog.
Rock.
A
Kfad.
pet rock.
Kfad.
A tree.
Hokfad. Or...
Someone's cooking out there.
Yeah, they are. Oh
My goodness. Let's just go outside and find the food.
New LangTime segment, find the food.
Oh, the only body part we have so far is tongue, I think. Entered in the dictionary anyway.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Body parts are inalienable, aren't they?
Well, that's why I was looking for ear or tail or like any of those, but we don't have any of them
What's tongue?
ported over. It was right there. How did I move so far? Loh, of course.
Oh.
Of course.
Oh, Loh Akish. Oh, my God.
So, babe, we do not distinguish.
We don't distinguish it because it's in the
Because
name of
it's
the
right
language.
there.
Oh, my God.
No discussion needed. Thank God we didn't save this for a poll. We would have been like, oh, man.
Oh. Oh, my God.
Anyway. So, David,
Yeah.
we use the genitive.
A couple examples are provided below.
Unless, David.
Yeah, we have a special way of
Listen. Hear me out. Loh Akish. You must be referring to the language of the foxes.
Mm-hmm.
Loh Kish. You're referring to the tongue of the fox. The little body part tongue. The language is separable. It is not a part of you. No.
I'm thinking about it.
I even did it in a serious voice.
No, I know. I like the way that Miles worded this. I have to head out, but stay grammar.
Yes, yeah. Bye, Miles.
Miles headed to the club. We're stuck here. Loh Akish.
I don't think that's necessarily the right way to move forward. I just wanted to say, if you wanted to rescue the potential of having a distinction.
Oh gosh, I wish Biblaridium were here, and rather than me asking him to explain this in chat, he could just say it. But can you describe a little bit what was going on with Tokbamer. Because the one thing I'm thinking of is you're putting two nouns in apposition. You could do that. You could also treat the noun like an adjective, in which case it would have to agree. And look, Karis was going to say the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Question.
It wouldn't necessarily have to agree, no. Mm-hmm.
Could you envision a world
Okay.
where genitive covers alienable possessions, but then for inalienable ones, because they started with body parts, were the illative with the, so it would be like Loh Akish. What is Haughòf? Because it's like the tongue inside the fox, or the bone inside the fox, and it would be like illative to mark these inalienables because it's marking their location. And like very rarely would you ever talk about something being inside a noun unless it's like an inalienable possession inside them.
I guess. I think the locative would jump up more easily, but
Am I thinking illative wrong? That's
illative is into.
into. Locative is what I meant, the static location. I was thinking inside was the meaning I intended to go with. I apologize.
I could see, I could actually see the genitive being used with inalienable possession, and the locative used with alienable. So in other words, this thing is temporarily at you versus this thing is of you.
Gotcha.
That would take care of Loh Akish, because a tongue is alienable or inalienable. The only other way would be to say, oh, you know, when it's Loh Akish, it means Loh means language, and so it's not.
Well, see, that's the thing that Tethys, like in the way I was proposing, like there wouldn't actually be a difference between how you would say locating something, but like you would just understand, like the hole doesn't own the rabbit, so of course, because the, you know, rabbit, and then inside a hole it would be the locative on the hole, and it's like obviously that is not a body part, so you understand what that means. So like you would still have the locative meaning. That was just how.
Oh, sorry, Bib. When you said that, I understood you as saying that is what I did in the language, Tokbamer, not that's what I did with the name of the language. Okay, so as I see it, I'm going to just throw an informational poll up just to see where folks are. What do you think about possession? Genitive all the way. Genitive equals inalienable, and locative equals alienable. Shoot, I'm gonna have to abbreviate these. Genitive or gen and loc.
They'll never know what you're saying.
Yeah, they won't. And then for this third one, apposition equals inalienable. And for this one to work, Loh in Loh Akish will mean language and not tongue. So it would be Loh Akish is the language, Loh Akish is the fox's tongue. Here, let's
And I feel like I have thoughts on this, but I'm waiting for the poll to come in so that way I don't.
Let's see. I'm going to actually do these. And so I'm going to put them all on the screen. So these are top to bottom, A, B, and C, basically. So this is genitive all the way, Kfad Akish, Loh Akish. This is using the locative for alienable, so it'd be Kfad on Kish, the fox that the rock happens to have, Loh Akish, the fox's tongue. And this is genitive versus nothing, Kfad Akish, the fox's rock, Loh Kish, the tongue that is inside the fox. Versus, Loh Akish would be the language, the fox's language. And Patrick, you are the thoughtiest person I know. Don't lie and say you have no thoughts. Pretty close. I don't know if anybody else is planning on voting. Got 20 votes, 23 viewers. All right, let's end it. It looks like genitive locative won, but apposition was a close second. And genitive all the way had a fair number of votes as well. So with that in mind, and of course, seeing the examples all written out, what are your thoughts, Jess?
I actually had thought, like, I was thinking genitive all the way. Because even though I was trying to rescue the discussion on alienability, seeing the Loh Akish, I was like, oh, that kind of leans me in that direction. And it feels like one of the reasons we would be marking alienability is to have another linguistic difference from Haughòf.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily because it feels right for the language. And I feel like we've done a lot to distinguish this. I also feel like it would be, the genitive would end up being underutilized in a way that I feel like it would just disappear, being this little thing. Because we talk about...
Might get used with numbers, depending on how the poll goes.
Yeah.
But that would essentially...
I'm trying to think, like, how often, though, we, like, talk about... Especially with a noun, like, how often do you talk about body parts? Like, with pronouns, I could see the genitive being preserved. Because it's like, my arm, your arm, whatever. Like, that, I do feel gets used a lot more than talking about, well, the fox's arm. I just don't know that it would get used as much. And so it makes me wonder if it would end up falling out entirely.
Well, we haven't yet expanded its inventory of prepositions, and we currently don't have any way of saying how to move away from something.
Mm-hmm.
So genitive might end up enjoying a lot of use when like it might be assigned by prepositions more often than not. I don't know. But yeah, your point is valid, and yeah, if you want to say genitive all the way, then genitive all the way it shall be.
Well, if we end up having other ideas for how to use it, it's just, it seems, I'm trying to think of a world, not a world, like, it's totally possible. It's just trying to envision specifically where these foxes split off from Haughòf, where it's like, where inheriting certain things. We built off the system, but this isn't just building off the system that's being inherited. This is saying, no, we're going to switch. And so it's envisioning this world where it's like, we'll make the split where we'll say, yeah, the genitive is now stricter in how we apply it, whereas in Haughòf it gets applied to like so many things because it gets used for so many types of relationships, including like those verbal descriptors where it's you know, like, so it gets used all this, and the foxes like take away from that it gets used for possession, and then they take away from that it gets used in this very narrow scope. And so it's just trying to go with what feels right for the progression of how they borrowed things, because you can definitely envision a language where this system that we're talking about would totally be used. So it's not the system that I'm balking at, it's just trying to think through how I feel about these foxes.
Well, we are now going to call you Jesse, defender of the genitive. So we'll spell it with a J. All right. The gestative. I like it. Well, I think that sews things up pretty nicely. We've got a short but complete noun section, a complete adjectival section, complete demonstrative section. Our verb section is pretty good. We do have something for adverbs, coordination, relative clauses, WH.
Yeah, everything is moving bigger from here, and so like what I feel would be a great thing to do right now, David, is
add more
to
words.
Pull in more vocabulary, check the sound changes, check the forms, blah blah blah. So that way, as we move into not only putting number examples, but knowing that what we're going to move into is something like coordination or question forms, like it would be great to have more verbs and nouns in the dictionary to work with to support it.
All right.
Including we have a lot of that. Okay, tail is gwyd. We need tail in there. I wanted to talk about the fox's tail.
Yeah, understood.
And the protoform is G upside down R, like the R, ED. Grade is the protoform.
Okay. It's Gvid.
Ooh! How fun. And our first G word.
Yeah. Here we go. Gvid. Yeah. So I don't think things really change a lot. Things don't really change a lot in the noun paradigm, so that makes that nice and easy.
Perfect.
All right, Gvid.
In just a second, I want to target also, so I'm going to pull another from the G. I would also love to kind of fill out so we can get rid of all the example ones, and you like to have 2 entries before we do that. So cute. Like right above that, we have pigeon or dove. A bush or a shrub, if we want to locate something in a sentence.
Yeah. Also moon.
Moon. Oh, bush or shrub, I think will not come out as a G anymore. Never mind. I just saw the protoform. So I'm very interested, I guess.
Oh, it's one of those avowal. So yeah, it won't come out as a G.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. I mean, we should enter it, but let's. Oh my God! moon comes out as bow.
Well, that's fun. And we need a B, I think.
We do? Oh, we do.
We do.
Yeah.
We need a second B. So let's enter that.
Okay.
That was an accidental. Because we have all the A's we need. We can, of course, enter more A's, but...
Even that, huh? Okay. Of course, is well.
And this was moon, right?
Yes, moon.
Okay.
Wow. Just stays B the whole way. All right. Okay, we'll give this one a shot. I may need to go up and see how it actually works. Oh yeah, we can get rid of that. That has 2.
Okay, so thorn. How about thorn? That would surely stay G, right?
No, I've got one. I've got one here.
Oh, okay.
Because clan works the same way. And so where does it become a ja? Genitive. So let me just double check. Yep.
Oh, if clan worked, then bush would have worked. I thought the would do something different.
Yeah. Sorry, bush is the one that we're adding right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so sorry for everybody watching. And so, oh my gosh. Hold on, you're gonna like this.
I'm staring at the G page, waiting for the revelation, the givelation.
Do you see the difference between bush and clan?
Where am I supposed to be looking?
The A's.
Oh, they're in the A's, not the G's, where I said we needed to be entering new words?
Yeah.
Wait, oh, clan was already entered.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Wow, so avow versus avow.
Yeah, so we have avow versus avow. Or avow. Avow, clan, avow, bush.
You may want to change the protoform for bush.
It's...
Schwa.
Oh, it's a schwaha. Oh my gosh. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Whoa. Incredible.
So the reason I had suggested thorn was that would give us another G word to get rid of the example one. I think, because it's G-U-Q.
G-U-Q?
Labialized and
Oh,
I don't labialized Q.
Okay.
So G-U-Q labialized. And I think the Q is automatically aspirated, so you don't need to add that in for the proto.
Gukfa.
Gukfa. G-U-K-F-A.
Yep.
That is a new form. And now I think we have A, B,
What is
D done in terms of having at least 2 entries per
thorn?
G. We don't have any E words yet. That's all we're missing from the beginning of the alphabet is E words. How do we get the, oh wait. Oh my god, no wait, we have cat entered. What did cat become that it's so different?
It starts with an I.
Oh. What does EM or EL become?
Eam and ow.
How we get the beginning E and Loh Akish?
It might not be possible.
Did we?
I don't know.
Would it be a copy? Like, are these avowals, is it always an ah, or is it like a copy if something started with like something else? I don't know.
Okay. Jake is saying to get E, you have to trigger Magpie's Miracle. And I think that Jake is right. Shoot. It's got to be... But the thing is, it's got to be lowered. Because if it's too high, it comes out as U. And in order to lower it, you got to have... I'm pretty sure you got to have a uvular in front of it, not behind it.
But if you have a uvular in front of it, it won't start with an E.
Yeah.
It'll start with a consonant. Wow. Okay. This is fun. This is good stuff.
We're trying to get a word that starts with an E in Loh Akish, and we are hypothesizing that might not actually be possible, or at least not for a native word. We might be able to borrow a word. And so, for example, Russian, I believe it was, there are apparently very, very few native Russian words that begin with ah. Almost all native Russian words that begin with ah have been borrowed.
Oh, and by the way, then we are also now like
Yeah, I know.
the end. We may need to go.
How on earth do we get it?
I'm just typing in random vowel beginning things to see if we can trigger it.
How do we even get that? Because the pharyngals aren't lowering it.
No, because that comes out as ish.
Oh, that's right. It was just O.
O followed by what?
It's not
O
followed.
For me, everything I'm typing in with O at the beginning is coming out O. So how are you getting A out of it?
It's got to be preceded. It has to be preceded by a pharyngeal or a uvular.
And therefore, it will never be the first.
Yeah.
So nothing can start with an E.
Wow.
There we go. I think we need to change that and call it a day. Change it to this is part of the romanization, and
unless we want to borrow in a word. Is there something particularly rabbity that starts with E that they would borrow?
We can look. It's just like we are now eating up my time to get ready, and so I am.
Okay, I'm gonna write down. I'm gonna write down. Borrow word starting with E.
And it's got to be borrowed later, so that way it does not participate in sound changes. Like it just needs to come over and be like eh.
To Loh Akish must be late borrowing. All right. Okay. Thank you all very much for joining us. Thank you for staying late. Thank you for keeping us on task. Thank you for keeping us in your hearts. We appreciate that. And Thank you for making me decide. I probably should get an actual haircut.
I do have 2 suggestions
Yeah.
if you want to think about it, because I had opened it while we were talking.
Lemongrass. Yeah.
We do have 2 plants, the alfalfa plant and the sassafras tree, which could be associated with rabbity culture and could be borrowed in
Yeah.
as is. There's also ESI. ESI is ear, and that could be borrowed in to refer specifically to long ears that are like of that shape. And so like they would normally
Interesting.
refer to ear as this other, as their word,
Yeah.
but like when you're talking about the longer ears that rabbits have, it could potentially, that one's sort of a
Yeah.
potential.
All right. And then Jake also suggested lemongrass. Another.
Lemongrass, another
Yeah.
plant.
All
Yeah.
right. Cool.
All right.
Well, thank you, everybody. And yeah, we'll see you next week because it's
going to be July next week.
it's going to be the 3rd of July, so we're going to have to go directly from there to the Dodger game.
We may have to end a little early because we need to be at the game early to get. And
Patron live stream this Saturday. Thank you, Jonathan.
Yes, this Saturday is what I was.
1 p.m. this Saturday, patron live stream. We will see you there, and we're going to start working on our beaver language.
Yay!
We're going to start working on the expansion. All right, everybody.
Hooray! All right, stay grammar.
Bye.